The Renton pastor who ran a Ponzi scheme from the pulpit pleaded guilty this afternoon to swindling more than $1 million.
King 5's Jesse Jones first broke the story that exposed what Pastor Tony Morris was up to. Jesse's just back from the courthouse with what happened. Jesse.
That's right. For 8 years, Pastor Morris was preaching salvation while running a scam. And this was his judgment day. Pastor Tony Morris entered court ready to plead guilty to wire fraud and money laundering charges, but not to talk.
Pastor Morris, do you have anything to say?
Pastor Morris from the New Covenant Christian Center pled guilty today for running a Ponzi scheme with more than 20 victims whose losses totaled $1.6 million. Kirk and Lisa Russell lost more than $100,000 to Morris.
It's a long time coming, and hopefully he does get a good amount of time in jail for what he has done.
It's a certain satisfaction to see him take accountability for his actions, and the crimes that he did. It doesn't give you your money back.
The feds say for 8 years, Morris promised investors returns of up to 400%.
Now who do you trust if you can't trust a man of God?
In my investigation, I learned that Pastor Morris was even taking money from his flock. Church member Willie Turner gave the pastor $10,000.
He promised to pay me back in 30 days, but 30 days came, he didn't pay me back, so he kept shining me off.
While taking that money, Pastor Morris was living in a $1 million home and taking lavish trips around the world. The pastor's attorney says her client is remorseful.
Tony says has accepted responsibility. He's cooperating with the government in every way that he can at this point. He is very remorseful.
Okay, so let's ask the pastor himself about that. What do you have to say to the victims? Are you going to pay him back? You have nothing to say to the victims. You stole the money, and you have nothing to say. See what I'm saying? Pastor Morris's plea deal says he will pay everyone back, but how can that happen if he's in prison? His sentencing is set for April 6th. He faces up to 20 years in prison for the wire fraud count and 10 for the money laundering.
Jesse, thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, Jesse. If you need to get Jesse, leave him a message at 1-877-51-JESSE. That's 1-877-515-3773, or email him at getjesse@king5.com.